Hi, friends. I don't know if any friends will be here, but I will say hello nonetheless. I had some downtime because my summer is officially ending. So I decided to come on here and just say hi because I have some free time right now answering any questions. What's up, A. Kapoor, Tasmin. That's right. Sally, Roberta, hello. What's up? What's up? We're going to have some question and answer today, I guess. I also have some stuff I could talk about. We'll see. We'll see if we get there. But if not, I would love to talk to you guys, hang out for a little bit. I probably will leave around 9:35. But until then, we're going to have a good time. Let's party it up. Hi, Lillian. What's up, everyone? All right. Let's see. The way I want to start this is to just kind of have an open forum. Let's have a discussion if there's anything you guys want to talk about. Golden State bandwagon. I like that. I respect you for calling that out. I'm not a Golden State Warriors fan. I am a Steph Curry fan, and I wish I could show you guys my wall. But like, I have Steph Curry's poster like right above me, right here, and there's just Curry going like this with the number 30 on his back. So I'm a massive Steph Curry fan. So I'm not technically a Golden State Warriors fan. But before Steph Curry, it was all about this homie right here. So Steve Nash was my favorite basketball player, and then he retired. So then he actually was one of the proteges of Steph Curry, and so I love Steph Curry. And so Steph Curry is the main reason I'm wearing this shirt. All right, Myrna, I was wondering if you had advice for someone applying late in the cycle. Just get stuff done, submit it, and I honestly think just the waiting game. Just because you're late doesn't necessarily mean you're completely out of it. I think if anything, you just want to get stuff in as soon as possible. August isn't even – it's still August, right? August isn't even that late. I think if you guys saw my last video, I uploaded all of my dates. I think I submitted my secondary to Yale in August. So, and that's where I go now. So that's pretty crazy. Pre-med advice, Lillian. Started first year of college. All right, congratulations. There's so much I can say about this in college. Pre-med, kind of take it. I mean, college is a time for you to grow, but pre-med advice, I think, honestly, just take grades very seriously. Grades do matter a lot. And I think people don't take them seriously as you should. So definitely want to take grades seriously. Focus on developing yourself as a person. Make some friends. Have a good time. Do not let yourself stop having fun. But definitely prioritize yourself as a individual and grow as a person. Tasmim, how do I get through tough times in college? Ooh, this is a great question. Because I think it's not like the tough times ever stop. If anything, they just get worse as you get older. Like, you're going to have much worse times. Like, you're going to have debt. You're going to have bigger problems than just, whatever college throws at you. There's three big things. So one thing that I like to say is for tough times, you always want to have a great support network. You want to have people around you that you know will lift you up. For example, for me, it's like my mom knows me better than I know myself. So, like, being able to talk to her even when I'm feeling low about something is really, really nice. And same with my dad, my sister, my family, all of that. You guys got to make sure you have a support network around you that cares for you as much as you care for them, because that is going to be imperative. The second thing I will say is you have to have things that are intangible to you. So, like, even if your circumstances change, you have to have something that you hold so true to yourself that you can kind of rely on it even when the going gets tough. So let me give you an example. For me, that's actually running and playing sports or being physically active. I know that even if I'm really overwhelmed, or even if I'm really stressed out of my mind, or even if something crappy happens, I can just go for a run, and running almost always resets my clock, because running shows me like, oh, this is something that I really enjoy doing. So you guys always want to have hobbies that you can do. And the third thing that I will say to make sure you can get through tough times is to always remain, it's hard to do this, but to always remain optimistic. Think about all the things you have rather than all the things that are going wrong in your life. Think about the fact that you're fortunate enough to even, first of all, be on this YouTube live video, right? Like, have internet, have access to these resources, be able to pursue your education, be able to pursue your dreams. That's a huge positive that not a lot of people have. So those three things are things that I always kind of think about and always rely on, because there will be things that throw me off, and that usually keeps me pretty happy. Hopefully, Tasmin, that answers your question. What are my best tips for preparing for physics? Do every problem you're ever assigned for homework 3 times. Once the first time around. Second time you do it should be right before the midterm. You have to do it again before the midterm. And the third time you do it, you should do it right before the final. And repetition really helps with physics. I honestly think I know my physics really well, and one of the reasons for that was because You always have to do each problem over again because you might think doing it over again, you'll just remember the answer. Not the case. If anything, it refreshes what the mindset was when you were going through the problem the first and second time. Let's see. Vishal, is there any sort of logic to timing of interview invites or just wait it through? Thanks for the vids. Oh, hello, Vishal. Go Bears, always. Okay, thumbs up as always. Like the video so we can get this going. Interview invites are always rolling to a certain extent. So like you will likely get an interview invite earlier, the earlier you submit your application, but that's not always true. Sometimes there's different levels of interview tiers, I would assume. So sometimes even if you submit at a place really early, you'll get an interview invite like really late. And I don't know how that works, but more often than not, the earlier you submit your application, the earlier you get an interview invite for that school. But it's all relative. So even if you like submit someplace really early, you might get an interview from there like in December and then get something else later on. Romy, what is something you wish you did before medical school? See, that's a fun question, Romy. I like that question. You guys should ask fun questions. We can get creative here. Something I wish I did before medical school. Let's see. Honestly, like figure out like a good job and make some money. Like make a substantial amount of money so you can start paying off my loans maybe. But like in terms of like what I'm actually interested in and what I wish I had a chance to do that I didn't get to do, like put more, I honestly would have done a full-time YouTube thing. That would have been really cool. Imagine if I devoted like full-time efforts to YouTube. There's so many things I want to do. Like I want to create education videos. I want to create videos for like so many different topics. So if I'd gone full-time YouTube, that would have been really fun. Even last year, I was only part-time YouTube. So I definitely wish I'd gone full-time. That would have been really fun. Yeah, Abi, go Dubs, Marina. Oh no, you're welcome, obviously. Off topic, but do you believe in dissociative identity disorder? Dude, that's a great question. I have no clue. I don't actually even know really what dissociative identity disorder is. But what I do believe in, here's the fact. I do believe in the power of the brain, and the brain is scary. The brain scares me. The brain could do some crazy, crazy, crazy things. So if that's anything, I am actually doing a research project in the neuro ICU. Where I'm recruiting a bunch of patients, but I will say the stuff you see in the neuro ICU is beyond, it like blows my mind. You don't see like dissociative identity disorder, but you do see like the power of the brain to literally shut down your entire body and to literally bring it right back. So you take care of the brain and your body's great, but one mishap in the brain and your body is completely destroyed, which is crazy. I do maybe believe in dissociative identity disorder. I don't know. I just believe that the brain is insanely powerful. The brain is the only organ that studies itself. Think about that. Think about how crazy that is. The brain named itself. Isn't that even crazier? Okay, anyway. What is your opinion on sending updates to medical school after applying? I sent updates a decent amount. So when you apply to medical school, you can technically send them updates to tell them what's new in your life and what's going on. So I sent updates not frequently, like once every 4 months to schools that I was really interested in, and especially schools that I wanted to get interviews at that I didn't already get at. I don't know if it actually helps. I don't think it does. But if they accept updates, you should definitely give updates. Sally, innovation in healthcare. What do you think they mean by this? I don't even know. I'm trying to figure that out. Innovation in healthcare means so many different things because healthcare needs to improve in so many different ways. First of all, is like patient care. How can you innovate in patient care? But more important than that is to try to think about the gaps in healthcare, which is hard to do as someone who isn't necessarily seeing patients. So even right now, I'm having a hard time. But like some examples would be like, some current gaps in healthcare, like think about electronic medical records, right? Like those are some things that started a while ago and they still haven't been fully implemented across, the world even, let alone like the United States. And so on top of that, like electronic health records, another place where innovation in healthcare is needed is patient education. Think about the amount that patients don't know. Think about like the gap there. Like think about like, do you guys even know what the word clot means? Like some of you might not know what the word clot means. So think about like patients. Like the way doctors talk to patients is a massive inhibitor to understanding. So like there's so many like problems there that we haven't even addressed. There's other problems in terms of like innovating in terms of diseases that can't be cured yet. that you can, and there's just so many. So innovation in healthcare is very broad. You can innovate literally in the sense of like curing diseases that haven't been cured before, or you can innovate in the sense of like making patients better understand their diagnoses, making patients understand better how to access healthcare resources. One of my classmates, who's a genius, she actually started a startup that gives patients free rides to and from healthcare appointments. And that's huge. She actually just got a massive amount of funding for the next round of her startup. And that's actually a huge way to innovate. And this is just addressing one facet of patient care, which is just accessibility to healthcare. So that's one aspect of it. So just think about it. I'm sure you can think about many other ways. This is not, let's see, who am I looking at now? Gal, what's up, prereq? Are you considering applying to dual degree programs internally? I am considering doing an MD MBA. Yeah. And the reason for the MBA is exactly what Sally said. I'm really interested in innovating in healthcare, specifically like through things like my YouTube channel, through other things that I'm really thinking about. I think there's a lot of gaps that we can already address. I'm not particularly too interested in like curing diseases, which I think would be great if I could do it. I'm more interested in filling the gaps of what already exists and trying to make it better. And I think there's a lot of gaps there. So that's why I'm trying to do an MD MBA, because I think that opens up the door for a lot of opportunities. Oh, Myrna, that's so great. I'm glad you find them helpful. Feel free to throw any recommendations my way. Actually, we'll try to get a video out this Saturday. My goal is to have another video out this Saturday, and it's actually, I'm thinking will be a video about tips for first-year med students. Not tips, but like what I've learned from my experience, and hopefully that would help other people. All right. John Lee, what was my MCAT score? I took the old MCAT out of 45. I got a 37. I studied for it for 2.5 months over summer in my sophomore year. So yeah. All right, let's do a thumbs up break. I don't know how many of you guys have been here before. If you're new here, like this video. My name is Prerak, as in before the rack. Prerak City is my nickname, even though that's longer than my real name. Right, never mind. That's not my nickname. Anyway, nice to meet many of you if I've never met you before. All right, let me continue answering questions. Hi, Sai. I'm horrible at reading comprehension. Dude, I suck at reading comprehension. You're asking the wrong person. I would strongly recommend you just read the newspaper every day. Like, that's actually honestly the best way to do it. Read New York Times. That's it's a phenomenal resource to improve your reading comprehension. Okay. Let's see, Myrna, how do I stand out for extracurriculars? Again, do what you're interested in, Myrna. Like, think about like Myrna. Okay, Myrna. Think about like what you're interested in and really pursue that to the best of your ability, and really just do it to the extreme. And I think this isn't a video I posted a while back. Let me see if I can find it. It's the video I made with Yakov. About, the top 15 things people get confused about. And I'll link it. Let me see if I can just open it up first, and then I'll link it below. If you watch this video, we addressed that pretty well. Yakov is a great classmate of mine, and he and I made this video, and hopefully that will answer one of your questions, Myrna. I just linked it in the chat box. Okay. I have an MCAT coming up and feeling unprepared. Is it worth to take it and see how I do? I think you should, if you feel that way. The problem is it's very hard to go into a test and know that you feel prepared, but if you genuinely feel unprepared, I think it's better for you to delay it to a time that you feel more comfortable in your shoes than to just take it, waste $300, and potentially know that you already weren't giving yourself the best shot. But with that being said, there's a difference between feeling unprepared and feeling uncomfortable. Almost inevitably, everyone will feel uncomfortable when they start the day before their MCAT. But if you genuinely feel unprepared, like you're getting questions wrong that you thought you would be getting right, then I would definitely delay it, because it's much better to be prepared and take it once and try to do your best than to take it once and have the regret of knowing, like, I felt unprepared and I still took it. Like, that's not something you really want to put yourself through. Gal, I don't know how to say your name, but I think that's a great job. If you're a bartender, we actually have someone in my class who was a bartender too before. And she's phenomenal. Like, you learn so many things at jobs that are like, you think normal day jobs. I would have loved to be a barista. That actually is something that I wish I would have gotten a chance to do, because I think you learn so much more there. You pick up things about people, you pick up things about the work-life balance, you pick up so much in a job like that than you would in a research lab, So I think that's actually, believe it or not, something that might be working in your benefit if you spin it the right way. My thoughts on the NYU medical school free tuition. Well, kudos to NYU for doing it. Honestly, I think, first of all, if their goal was to make tuition free for everyone, that's great. They did it. But I think their goal was to get more people to go into primary care and the specialties where it's much harder to go into because you're in so much debt. And I think if that was their goal, they didn't go about it the right way. Because I don't think that everyone who goes to NYU now is still going to be doing primary care. Like, if anything, now all of the top students will want to go to NYU, and the top students are usually like not even like thinking about primary care. So I think if anything, they should have made med school tuition free for the people that, like, you know, guaranteed or at least promised they would do primary care, because then you actually will incentivize people to go into these fields where there are massive doctor shortages versus like just making it free for everyone and then still having a shortage in primary care. Because I think they mentioned like, we think this will help get people into primary care, which I honestly think is not going to work. If you make med school free, the rich are going to get richer in the sense that like the people are going to graduate debt free and then still do orthopedics and make a bunch of money. So I don't know. It depends what their goal was with that. But if it was to increase primary care doctors, I don't know if that's working in their benefit. Sophia Lee. I was published in a Journal of Biological Chemistry as a third author. Yeah. But that was something that I really was not that involved in. It was just more of a side thing. I don't think it played that big of a benefit. Amr, this is such a good question. What are the benefits of going to a top medical school compared to other mid-level schools? One thing that I will say is I just love the people I'm surrounded by right now. So I think if you go anywhere where you're surrounded by brilliant people, which you will be on almost any medical school, you're going to do well. Because right now, my baseline is that I'm surrounded by people who have taken education so seriously in their entire life, who have taken their passion so seriously, who care so much about so many things that I myself feel the need to step up my game. And it's a lot more about the people I'm surrounded by than the actual med school I go to. This school could be named XYZ for all I care, but if I was surrounded by the same people I'm surrounded by right now, it would be a top tier med school just because I would be motivated. And that is the benefit of going to a school like this and going to a med school where people like this are going to be there. Like, I just love the fact that I can go to class tomorrow and meet someone who's doing something amazing. Like, genuinely, like one of my best friends is doing a project right now about taking a photo of a photo of a photo of a photo of a photo and keep doing that over and over again. And she's using that to kind of metaphorically symbolize memory, because in memory, you think about something and you think about the last time you thought of it. So it's kind of like taking a photo of a photo. And then when you think about it again, you're taking that memory again and like rethinking about it. So you can like symbolize this by actually taking a photo of a photo of a photo and see what that looks like. And then you can think about it. And it's kind of a metaphorical representation. So she's doing that. And she's taking these photos and actually like time-lapsing them, kind of showing how it ends up blinding into like this weird mesh, and to kind of show you how our memories can get the best or worse of us because you can zone in on one thing. Just like how these photographs, when you take them over and over and over again, over themselves, they tend to just blur the original picture. So like being surrounded by people like that is phenomenal. I love it. Like, I would give anything to be surrounded by people like this. And that's the benefit of going to a school like this. So hopefully that answers your question. Are there international students in your class or other classes? Yes, I have at least 3 or 4 Canadians. And so at least total of 6 overall international students. All right. I will be on here for 10 more minutes. So give this a thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this. More than happy to address all of your questions, but I want to make sure you guys are hopefully enjoying something like this. So I will try my best to do it more. Okay. How many classmates have research? Like almost inevitably all of them, whether that be in humanities, science, like 100% probably of my classmates have research, but not all of them are in science. How should I approach a doctor/physician for shadowing? It depends on it depends where you go to school. Like if you go to school at Yale, you have such a good small class size that you can just reach out to physicians personally. But if you don't go to Yale and you have a big public school like Berkeley, I just send a template email saying, hi, my name is Prerak. I am a blank undergraduate student at blank, and I'm thinking of going into medicine. And I literally would copy and paste that into 50 different emails and just change the name and then email physicians, just like a shotgun approach. So yeah, what's the most useless talent I have? Roberta, what a phenomenal question. My useless talent? I don't know. What are my talents? I can drink really fast. Like I can down a glass of milk in like 2 seconds. It's kind of like, why is that even useful? I guess it helps. But yeah, I'm not sure. That's probably pretty useless. What are requirements for medical school? You should watch that video I linked, Mash. I linked it in the comments a bit below where you asked that question, because that's going to take a bit too long. I don't know what my personality type is, but I have mentioned in another video. If you reach out to me over Instagram, I will try to tell you. As always, let me link my Instagram really quick. Let me make sure, because I think I'm actually pretty accessible over Instagram. I try my best to respond to everyone. It's obviously really hard when I have school and a lot of stuff going on, but you know, it's good to at least try my best to keep up to date with you guys, because honestly, as I've told you guys, you mean a lot to me. Okay, so let's see. That's my Instagram. Follow that, and my Snapchat is also Prereq City, although I don't post on it as much anymore. But feel free to follow that. Hey Roger, yeah, I remember you. You are a loyal man. I love that. I'm glad you've been around for that long. How did I maintain a balanced schedule in undergrad when I had so much to juggle? I did not sleep, which is probably not the best answer you wanted to hear, but like in general, the general philosophy is like sleep, academics and extracurriculars pick 2 of the 3 and almost inevitably end up picking the latter 2. I didn't sleep as much, but I think one way to do it is to schedule your time efficiently. Maybe make sure your schedule is filled out. So yeah. And then I honestly would devote as much time as I needed if the extracurricular meant a lot to me. I would never take on something if I knew I didn't like it. So I always took on things that I knew I would be able to devote my time to, because the last thing you want is to take on an extracurricular, know you don't care about it, and then like have it bug you. So I would always take on things, and if I cared about it, I would really like spend the time to do it, even if that meant losing sleep, because I'd be motivated too. What are my opinions on preparing for medical school interview? Oh, Nilanj, sorry. How's my second year going? It hasn't started yet. It starts next Wednesday. And at the end of this video, I have like, I think 5 resolutions for this second year that I'm going to try to do. So I will mention that to you, but I'm hoping it'll be well. Because this time I will have 2 weeks. Hope I won't rupture a tendon, and I'll have a laptop. I did my whole first year. Half of it was with a broken tendon, and most of it was with a broken laptop. So now I have a new laptop and a new tendon, and I can walk. So hopefully it'll be a good year. Okay. You should do more study with me live stream. I will try my best. I would love to study with you guys. If anything, I might be up late today. I'm up late almost every day, but I would love to do a study with me AM version, and I would hang out with y'all. Preparing for med school interviews. Christopher, watch the last live stream I did. I posted a bunch of resources for med school interviews on that one. I don't know if you saw them, but let me just post that video also. So if you go to, oh yeah, I made like free MCAT resources. There's also a bunch of interview resources in this video, so feel free to check that out. Okay. To prepare for the MMI. I did not prepare for the MMI, so I don't know. I just kind of went in there and kind of YOLO, which may not have been the best way to do it, but you know, works out. I got into UCLA though, and UCLA had MMI. So maybe it's like I just did it enough times that I got it. I did not prepare for it. I would recommend you buy a book. I think it's called MMI by Samir Desai. Look it up. Samir Desai, MMI. I bought that book and I read it. That was the only way I prepared. Let's see. What is my favorite class in med school so far? I like all of them. I really like physiology. Physiology is really great. Of any organ system, I just love physiology. Physiology is like kind of understanding the function of medical school. Okay. Let's see. How do you write your own letter? I usually try to stay away from doctors when they say that. It's just like really hard for me to like talk about myself. So if anything, I don't even know. I've never done that before. I would recommend that you write things about yourself that you definitely know you want mentioned, and then kind of format a brief letter and then send it off to your, maybe even like send it off to your parents or someone you care about and ask them how you can say this if you weren't writing it. Because sometimes if you write about yourself, you can come across a little bit arrogant, or maybe even not arrogant enough. So yeah, let's see. Nilanj. Yale Med does not have any grading system, actually. It's just pass now or pass later. So it's kind of great. It doesn't have that because like in med school, you already have enough to study about. The last thing you want to worry about is competing for better grades and competing against your classmates. So the reason we don't have a formal grading system is primarily because of that. We just want to focus on learning for the sake of learning and learning what we're passionate about, and not having to deal with grades and not having to deal with, oh, I'm not doing well in this, this, and this. Because everyone here will do well. The part that's interesting is like you can just do well in whatever you want to do well in and focus on what you want to focus on. Nick, I actually mentioned my thoughts earlier in the video. So when I post it up, feel free to go back to that part. I mentioned my thoughts on that. Intermittent physician shadowing. You can just, Corbin, when you write this on your application, when you write down that you shadowed physicians, all you have to write is like physician shadowing and write down the number of hours you did and say that you shadowed particular physicians and whichever shadowings you do, and you'll be fine. When you're shadowing during undergrad, what do you actually do? You literally do nothing. You're like the doctor's shadow. You go around and follow them and see what they're doing. And if they're nice, they'll like ask you, do you have any questions? And you can ask them questions. But if they're not nice, they won't even ask you that. And you literally just get to listen to what they're saying. And sometimes that's useless because because you guys don't know anything in the sense of like you don't know doctor jargon. So sometimes like they'll be talking another language and you just won't even know what it is. Sorry, I'm icing my foot right now and some of the ice is just leaking on the ground. That's all. That's the only reason I'm looking down. Okay. What do you think is a good GPA to get into an Ivy League medical school? I can't answer that, but I will say the average GPA of my class, the incoming class of 2021 at Yale School of Medicine, was 3.87. So that's all I can say. Those are the only facts I know. But I think anything above a 3.8 should be pretty good. Hopefully that answers your question, John. Krishna, there's no sleep in undergrad. 100% agree. Do you use an iPad Pro in medical school? Gayatri, yes, we get a free iPad in medical school. So I use it to review my lectures, and I use it a lot just as a supplementary desktop, but I still mostly use my laptop. Some people swear to the iPad and they use the iPad a lot. It entirely depends on you. If you get the pencil, it's actually really nice, and you can use the iPad a lot because the iPad's 256 gigabytes. So yeah. Do you need a semester of calc during college? You need 2 semesters of calculus, I believe, for medical school, if I remember correctly. Best way to create and use flashcards. I'm really big on flashcards. I use Quizlet a lot during undergrad. And so if you guys want to know how to use Quizlet, I have a YouTube video on that. So I will link that in the chat right now. But right now I use Anki, and that's actually something I'm planning to also make a video on. And so this is my Quizlet video. Let me post that in the link. But my Anki video is still coming up, and Anki is more for medical school. And the reason Anki is so good, the only reason people will give you crap about like making your own flashcards in Anki, that's not true. The reason Anki is so good is because there are already pre-made decks that are 100% the gold standard for step 1. And that is the only one, like at least to me, the only benefit of Anki. The UI is terrible. If you use Anki, the user interface is crap. But the only reason it is phenomenal is because you can download decks, you can customize decks, and the spaced repetition algorithm works like a charm. But aside from that, Anki's UI is really, really horrible, but I 100% support it as a learning tool because you get to do a lot with it. Okay. So, study cleanser, how do you master the math on the MCAT? That's a great question. I think the math on the MCAT, I think Kaplan has a nice refresher on this, but I would also recommend just Googling it, YouTube video, just math on MCAT. There's a lot of great YouTube videos out there that show you how to do some of the basic math. Also, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I'm about to finish. I'll try to answer these last few questions, and I will call it a day. But hopefully you guys and this helped answer all your questions. Is shadowing necessary? I've heard yes and no. Shadowing is absolutely necessary. I've told this story before, but I've had one interview distinctly where the interviewer literally told me I did not have enough shadowing hours and I needed to get at least 100 more if I wanted to be considered. And so I told him I would do a lot more before the decisions came out, and I would tell the school I was doing a lot more. And so shadowing is necessary, and ideally I would recommend at least 200 hours. It is necessary though, 100%. Any advice for what to do to prepare for med school in your gap year? If you haven't taken already, take the MCAT. Focus on learning about yourself. Focus on why you want to go into medicine. Focus on what part of medicine you want to do. Focus on yourself as a person. Focus on where you see yourself practicing. Focus on like literally those intrinsic parts that you haven't had a chance to think about in undergrad. Focus on like literally like why do you want to be a physician? when you are a physician, what do you see your life being like? Like, these are all questions that you might think, oh my God, that's so far away. But once med school starts, it's a rock rolling down a hill, and you don't get time to think about it as much. So you want to think about it earlier on, because then you can focus your med school like career in that trajectory. Like, I know I want to be a primary care physician in a rural setting. I want to have a family. I want to focus a lot of my time on my family. I want to have this, this, and this. So you really know what you want. So you can focus your med school in that way. Like, you know, you want to do primary care. You know, you want to do ENT. You know, you want to do this. So all of that. Okay. Can you make it as a doctor as a visually impaired individual? Absolutely, Luis. You can do it. Yeah. It's going to be difficult, but nothing has ever been easy. And if anything, you could be the first one to show people it's possible. Any tips during the waiting game for interviews? Not really. You literally have to wait. Maybe send them updates if something's new, but that's pretty much it. And when is it considered late for secondaries? Anything after mid-September, I would consider late as you turn in for secondaries. I mean, right now it's already like slightly late, but late is officially, I'd say mid-September would be a pretty good rule of thumb. All right, 2 more minutes. Let me finish all these. What inspired me to go into medicine? Oh my God, I can't even talk about that. Khalil, that's a great question, but I just don't have enough time. I will try to add that in another video, hopefully. Let's see. You need 2 semesters of English. And you need 2 semesters in college, even if you've opted out. So I think in general, you should have at least 1 year of English. What extent does admission of secondaries lead to early interview invitations at heavily rolling? I mean, heavily rolling schools, you should get interviews earlier. So Christopher, you said if you submit your secondaries earlier, you'll get earlier interview invites. Absolutely, you will. And that's just a function of, because the school is heavily rolling, you'll get it. And yeah, holistic review of secondaries. I don't know. I plan on being on Yale's admissions committee, hopefully. And maybe then I can tell you guys a bit more, but right now I don't know what holistic review means. I think it just means that they don't just look at your MCAT and they don't just look at your GPA, they look at who you are as a full person. Rahul, I believe you need a full year of English before you apply. Hi, Dana. Long time no talk. You guys gotta, yeah, absolutely. You guys gotta get to Yale, man. Yale is the best place. I would love to see many of you here. I think you would thrive here, but rest assured you will thrive wherever you go. Okay. What weird food combinations do I really enjoy? Great. So I'm answered most of mine. Okay, wait. Supersonic Lauren. I am thinking right now of internal medicine because I really like thinking. I love science and I just love teaching. So internal medicine is the best of both worlds. So I'm thinking about internal medicine, but I'm not sure yet. I'm probably thinking internal medicine, maybe cardiology. I don't know. I have no clue, but it's all there. So yeah, we will decide when we get there. I don't think I'm going to do surgery though, to be honest. Okay, and then interview tips. I try to make a video on that, but I don't. Oh, Supersonic Lauren, you should go to my video I made with Yakov. Again, I will link it. There are interview tips in this video that I strongly suggest you look at because Yakov has some great tips for everyone. So as always, I'm going to have to sign off now, but I answered hopefully everyone's questions, which is great. I love all of you guys. I love the fact that we can talk here and just literally get along. Please add me on Instagram and Snapchat. Let me make sure you guys have that. I like talking to you guys. I like hearing from you guys. I actually recently, believe it or not, people reach out to me and they're like, hey, I'm starting Yale undergrad, or hey, I got an interview to Yale, or hey, I got an interview to Yale Med. Do you want to meet up? And it's great because usually to those people, I'm like, yes, absolutely. I would love to meet up. So if you guys are ever in the area, please hit me up. Instagram's right there. My Snapchat is Prerock City. Subscribe if you haven't already. This is a great community. I honestly love it. You guys help each other all the time, and I try to help you guys. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe. Love you all, and I will see you soon, and hopefully a video dropping on Friday. But thanks for everything. All right. See you guys soon, and have a great, great, great Tuesday. That's so weird. Who cares about Tuesday? But hopefully this made your Tuesday a bit better. All right, bye, guys.